Specialist Madonna reporting for duty. That's E4, United States Army. That's me. Yep, that's my last name. Get over it. Anyway, I reckon if I was in the service right now, I'd be in deep shit for this here beard, this here headgear, and my uniform. This ain't no uniform. Unless I had a shaving profile, which they were hard to get. I almost got one. Anyway, I'm gonna try to do a quick video here. This ain't gonna be an hour-long video. That hour-long video I put out before, yeah, that was an editing mistake. Anyways, today's video is a VR response to Miss Tammy Sully 12 news channel. As most of you know, I am a veteran, U.S. Army. I served during peacetime when Bill Clinton was in office, but that does not make me any less of a veteran. I'm honorably discharged. I was hurt when I was there. I was a mechanic, and I had an engine block fall on me, so I'm a disabled veteran. I got out under honorable conditions. I could have got a medical discharge, but I declined, and I stayed in and finished my tour under a profile, health profile, and that was that. So yes, I'm an honorably discharged, disabled veteran. Anyway, I'll get into my story a little bit later. This video is going to be about mental health issues and addictions with our veterans today. And okay, so what we're going to talk about in this video is the mental health issues that are common with our veterans. Not only war veterans, but any veteran. I'm going to get into my bio a little bit and what happened to me. And then we're going to talk about the VA and some statistics that I pulled about veterans' mental health issues and suicide rates. And then we'll talk about what you can do. So, first, yes, I did take notes. So, you know, I'm going to read them. It's an outline, so I'm going to want to go through this. So please forgive me if I'm not looking at the camera, looking down. So the most common health issue, mental health issue with our veterans today is PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. So here's a little quote from www.wehonorveterans.org. So, all veterans with PTSD have lived through a traumatic event that has caused them to fear for their lives. They see horrible things and feel helpless. Strong emotions caused by the event create changes in the brain that may result in PTSD. Yet only some will develop PTSD. The reason is not clear. So let me just embellish on that a little bit. A lot of people think that veterans get PTSD from seeing all the horror and the death and the gore and stuff like that in combat, or any traumatic, you know, getting shot, getting bombed, getting blown up, whatever it is, seeing their friends die. And according to a research, some organization, I forget, that isn't always the case. The main reason for PTSD is guilt, and they're guilty because they feel like, or one of the main reasons, one of a major cause, I should say, is guilt, and they feel like, you know, it should have been them, you know, why are they still alive, those types of things. Also, when a veteran shoots an enemy soldier or whatever, a lot of guilt with that, extreme guilt. You know, stuff like that. So the guilt thing is huge. That's a major factor in PTSD. My best friend, I'm not going to say his name, some of y'all might know him, but my best friend has severe PTSD, and he was on the front lines as a combat medic, and he always tells me that he doesn't mind if we're watching a war movie or whatever it is. He doesn't mind the gore if he sees people dying in blood and guts. He doesn't mind that. It doesn't bother him at all. So it's kind of strange. The causes of PTSD, it's not always what you think. So just remember that. And which I'll touch on a little bit. PTSD oftentimes leads to chemical addictions, drug addictions, alcohol, and most of the time with veterans, many times it's alcohol. And veterans that have PTSD and other mental health issues turn to alcohol to sedate and numb the pain, and it's just the way it is. So anyway, let's move on. Yeah, so here we go. I talked about my best friend a little bit, and the reason why I'm using him because I wasn't in combat, I wasn't in war, and I don't have that type of PTSD. So let's see here. Like I said, he was on the front lines as a combat medic, and he was there for a good while in Iraq. And he saw mass casualties. I mean, he was there that carried body pieces back and forth. He saw some massive injuries, blood and guts and everywhere, and he was helping these people. You know, he was a combat medic, so it's not like he just saw it. He was hands on. Some of the problems that he faces with his PTSD is he's socially awkward, so which is super common. He doesn't necessarily know how to deal with a lot of people or a crowd of people or what to say. He might say the wrong things. He might blurt something out. It gets awkward. But he shakes super bad. He shakes really bad all the time, and that's not necessarily from the PTSD. They think it's from the meds that he takes for the PTSD. The loud voices and loud bangs scare him, startle him pretty bad. One time, he was asleep on the couch in the afternoon. He lives right there, and we don't share. We're not roommates. We have two separate apartments, but the building is one and two, so he lives right above me. So it's almost like we're roommates, but we're separated. Anyway, he was asleep upstairs. It was in the middle of the afternoon, and I dropped, I think it was an iron, a clothes iron. I don't know. I dropped something on the floor, fell over. Oh no, I know what it was. It was a speaker. It was the set of speakers to my laptop right here. And I was moving my laptop and I didn't see the cord or something, and it dropped, and it wasn't even a loud bang, but it made a bang. And next thing I know, man, I hear him hop up off the couch and he runs downstairs and he's freaking out like, "Oh my god, what happened? Are you okay?" Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Dude, I just dropped the speaker, man." He was like, "Holy shit!" It freaked me out. He was shaking real bad. So that's some of the things. Oh, he has extreme emotion changes in and out. He gets mad quick. He can get mad quick. He gets happy quick. He's just up and down. He's been pretty. I'm gonna say he was like this. He's been pretty mellow and calm lately, so that's always good. Me and him have never had a problem. I mean, I know what he goes through, so I just step away. But and that leads me. That's Tony. That's my best friend. I guess I'm gonna have to cut that out. If not, whatever. I know he don't care. But anyway, that the next thing I'm gonna touch on is that PTSD oftentimes leads to suicide, and suicide, the rate that veterans commit suicide per day is astonishing. So let me just read this real quick. The VA reported that 22 veterans commit suicide a day. That's up from 18 veterans a day. Now it's 22 veterans a day commit suicide, and that averages out to almost one veteran an hour. So within this hour, somewhere in this world, a veteran's going to commit suicide. That's 8,000 veterans per year that commit suicide. And I don't even know what to say about that. That number, 8,000 veterans a year commit suicide. That number is greater than the official number of all U.S. war deaths in more than a decade of fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan. What the fuck? Our veterans are killing themselves at a rate that's greater than what all U.S. casualties, war deaths, have amounted to in over a decade of fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan. Can you just take a minute? Can you fathom that? Do you understand what that means? When they come home, they kill themselves. They made it out of war, and they come home and they can't deal, so they off themselves. It's mind blowing. And we'll talk about that a little bit. What can we do? We'll talk about that in a minute. But let me just get in real quick. We're at 11 minutes. I'm gonna try to keep this under 15. Let me talk about the addiction issues. Oftentimes the PTSD can lead to addiction issues, but it's not always the case. A lot of veterans get addicted for a lot of different reasons. Veterans that get hurt get addicted to chemicals, painkillers. I got hurt in the military. I had a giant 903 Detroit Cummings diesel engine block fall on me. And yeah, I got pretty fucked up from that. But I'll say this, the first time I ever took a Percocet, the very first time, was in AIT, Advanced Individualized Training in Maryland. That's where you go to learn your job. And I wasn't even prescribed it. A friend of mine was prescribed it. He got a fucking ear infection. He got an earache, okay? Listen to what I'm saying. This is back in 1997. This dude got an earache, and the VA, it wasn't even a VA. Shit, we were in active duty. It was whatever sick call or whatever the fuck you call it. The doctor in active duty gave this young man a script for Percocet, 5 milligrams. So what happened was there was like a bug going around, and if you got sick and couldn't go to training, if you missed more than a certain number of days, you would get recycled, and I don't want that to happen. And I got sick, and I got a real bad sore throat, and I'm like, fuck this, I'm not going to the doctors, I'm not getting put on bed rest, none of that shit, nope. I'm going to get through this, and I'm getting through AIT, because I wanted to go to California, that's where I was headed. And anyway, dude gave me a Percocet, and I took it. I was like, holy tits, these things are great. I was stoned for like 5 hours, man. It was wonderful. It was at night, so thank God we didn't have to do nothing. I would have been, well, I probably would have made it through, but who knows. Anyway, I get out of the service. I cannot remember for certain if the VA gave me pain meds when I got hurt. I'm sure they did, but I don't remember what it was, because I didn't think nothing of it. And I took them and got off, or whatever the case was. They gave me something. I just don't remember exactly what med it was when I got hurt. Anyway, I got out. I came home, and I was good. I smoked pot. I went through a cocaine spell. I drank to stop drinking, whatever, right? I wasn't addicted to anything at that point. But I met a certain young lady, and she worked at a certain place where men go, right? And this girl was one of my good friends. She lived with me, and she started bringing home these painkillers, and started taking them. I wasn't addicted, but they eased my pain. Anyway, I got out of that. I stopped doing all that shit, and years later, I was on tour. I was a sound engineer, and I was putting speakers on a stage, and I re-injured the injury that I originally got in the military. And from that point on, I've been hooked on opiates. I have to take something every day. I've changed the brain chemistry. I've changed the chemistry in my brain where now I have to take something every day. And it's because I originally got hurt. Am I blaming it on the Army? No. Is it because I got hurt in the Army? Yes. Am I blaming anything on the VA? Absolutely not. The VA did give me opiates many times. They don't anymore. They'll give you some bullshit that when you're at my level, you laugh at, you know. But it's whatever. So anyway, man, that's my little story. That's how I got addicted to opiates from being hurt. Many other veterans turn to alcohol, cocaine, opiates, which oftentimes leads to heroin. Uh, I'd say this: in the past 3 years, I guess, I personally have known over 20 veterans that have died, and the majority of them were because of drugs and alcohol. One was because of alcohol. He got drunk and hit a pole, wrapped himself around a pole, and he was driving, and he died. But the others, I would say, out of that 20, 16 or so, died from heroin overdose. All of them, all that number. The majority, more than three-quarters, died from heroin overdose, which started with the painkillers. And you know, you get hooked on them, you feel better. Then you can't stop taking them. Then you get sick if you don't take them. Then you get cut off, and then you turn to heroin. It's the way it is. And then the heroin stops being heroin. It starts being fentanyl or morphine mixed together. And all of a sudden, these people shoot up this mixture, and that's that. It's a wrap. It's curtains. It's a damn shame. And they're hiding their physical pain and mental pain. They're covering it up. Oftentimes, with physical pain becomes mental pain, and comes with, you know, for me, I have severe physical pain, which has led to bouts of depression. And yeah, you know, we don't always, we not only use the chemicals, the drugs that were prescribed to feel better physically, but also to feel better mentally. So that's my little speech on that. Now, here's the thing, guys. You know, you hear these numbers of veterans dying and the addictions and the PTSD and all this stuff. Please, I'm putting it out there. Please do not blame the VA. The VA has done wonders for me, okay? They have been great to me and just about every veteran that I know. Yeah, there's going to be problems. Yes, nobody's perfect. The VA is not a perfect organization. I'm not making this video to bash the VA like I hear so many people do. I'll never do that. Okay? All I have is praise and gratitude towards the VA. They helped me out extremely well in a period of homelessness and addiction. And I can't thank the VA enough. So don't bash the VA. Okay? Yes, they don't handle everything correctly at times. But what hospital does? Come on. Who's perfect? All right? It's just, I hear all this shit in the news bashing the VA all the time, and we got to take care of veterans. Well, here's the number one thing: a veteran has to take care of himself before the VA can, okay? A veteran has to decide enough's enough and stand up and say, I'm better than this, it's time to go in. And when a veteran does that, that veteran gets the help they need. There's no question about it. The VA has never turned away a veteran that needs help, that's addicted, that's homeless, that has PTSD. It's not going to happen. So stop spewing that bullshit that I keep fucking hearing about the VA's this and the VA's that, because it's not true. And that's coming from somebody who is a veteran, and the VA has helped immensely. And I could interview 100 other veterans that I know from Vietnam era up until now. Now, the VA may have not taken care of people in the past, like I just mentioned, the World War veterans, the Korean veterans in the past, many years ago. And they understand that, and they're sorry for that, and they've corrected the problem. But in this day and age, 2016, do not bash the VA. They take care of their veterans, all right? And it pains me to hear people saying that. So what can you do to help a veteran that is homeless, that has PTSD, that's feeling suicidal? First thing, if you know a suicidal veteran, 302 is asked. Okay, call the law and tell him this dude's going to kill himself. He's a veteran, and they will 302 his ass. That means he will be held. I forget what the term is. They put him. They'll put you in a mental institution, and they will help you, and you cannot leave until you are better. Okay, you're held. Oh fuck, I forget the name of it. Oh well, sorry about that. But yes, call somebody and let them know. And secondly, um, you can call the suicide prevention line that for veterans. Uh, if you're feeling suicidal, you don't know what to do, call that number. Call the suicide prevention line. If you call any VA, it's the first thing they say. Hang up and call this number. Okay. I wish I had the number here to post it, and maybe when I edit this video, I'll find it and post it because I think I got the card. So if I do, look down there. Anyway, I just want to say this. If you're a veteran watching this video and you're having problems and you don't know what to do, stand up just like you stood up when you took your oath, when you went through service, when you graduated from basic training, when you got pinned E3, E4, E5, whatever it was, lieutenant, captain, colonel, whatever it was. When you got stand up and be proud, and you're better than that shit, okay? You don't have to kill yourself. You don't have to drink till your liver rots. You don't have to do none of that. Stand up and go get the help you need. The VA and many other organizations are there for you to get help, but you have to want it. There's nothing anybody can do that's gonna help you want the help. Okay, what I'm saying is you have to take the first step. So people, non-veterans who are listening, citizens, that's the number one thing. I mean, the only thing you can really do is call the law and 302, commit, that's the word, commit somebody against their will if they're going to kill themselves. Okay, it's the only thing you can really do. Everything else, it doesn't really matter if the veteran does not want help. So please, veterans, if you're feeling down, if you got PTSD, if you're drinking like a fish and you need help, you got to stand up first and admit that you're powerless and you need help. That's the first step. Once you do that, the rest just falls in line. But if you cannot do that, you're not going to get the help you need. It's not going to stay. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to close this. It's over 20 minutes. Listen, I know it's a serious video for me, which I don't do that often. But I just wanted to put this out as a veteran that's been through this stuff. And also I wanted to help Miss Tammy Sudley. And anyway, thank you all for listening. Y'all have a good day. Peace and blessings. Samwise is out. Raskla Bumboquad.